right, well, here we are with drummer extraordinaire Craig Blundell, currently on tour with Steven Wilson, exclusively for World Prog-Nation. Hey, so congratulations on positive response on your performance in this tour.
Thank you very much.
All right. The music world has certainly taken more notice.
Well, yeah, maybe. I think so. I try and shut myself away from that sort of thing a little bit because it frightens me. If I'm being really honest, because I'm actually quite a shy guy, and but yeah, it's great. It's great that people are seeing it and people are enjoying what I'm doing, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, making it into your name. It's making it into some polls and things.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So how are you?
I'm good. Well, I think we're into week 5 of the tour now, so. Body's hurting a little bit. My hands are quite sore. I got such a small hand. I'm not really a heavy hitter, and on this tour, you probably see tonight, I had to get new cymbals. I broke some cymbals. I was mortified. Never broken cymbals before in my life, and I used my signature Veta sticks are like 7/8. They're very, very small. And I've just literally been breaking them stick after stick after stick. So Stephen, we did rehearsals just before we left for the tour, which was great. And then since we got on the tour and the band's getting bigger and we're kind of gelling together as a unit, I found myself hitting a little bit harder. Not through choice, but that's what they want on the stage. And so I've gone from playing quite soft to literally hitting as hard as I possibly can.
Pretty hard, huh?
Yeah, so the body's a little bit sore, so we're looking forward to a day off.
All right. So we talked a little bit about this before, but you have been sharing some amazing photos of different U.S. landmarks.
Yeah.
With your fans. So which ones stand out so far?
I guess I really enjoyed Washington. You see it on the television all the time, the White House and stuff. So I'm a bit of a tourist geek, and I'm a massive photographer anyway. So just to see some landmark, and I was an ex-military guy, so I really wanted to go and see Arlington Cemetery. That was a quite poignant thing for me to go and see all the Marines there. That was pretty overwhelming, actually. I walked absolutely miles that day and didn't stop snapping. But to be honest, it's only my second time in the US ever, really. So it's I've not managed to see. And I really wanted to get out and see the sights, because it's very easy with this job. It's very easy to do the gig, have a glass of a drink, whatever, with the guys after the show, have a shower, get on the bus, wake up, and then the whole thing's on a repeat. And I've made a point of getting up early, getting out, relaxing, and just seeing the sights, really. And it's kind of blown my mind. It really has blown my mind. Being honest, I travel to the Far East quite a lot with the job, but I've never been this side, so it's been great. I'm really enjoying it, and every city has something different, something completely different. Whether it might not be so glamorous, like some of the sites we've seen today, but it's that culture thing, and I'm really into that. It means a lot to me.
And you're quite the photographer.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
I have a couple of hobbies. I play golf, and I like a bit of photography, and just clears the mind a little bit. I enjoy it.
That's great.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, Craig, so how did you get in the band?
Interesting. That's pretty much what everyone really has asked so far. I was on holiday at Christmas, and a friend of mine, a guy called John Mitchell, who's he's in It Bites and Lonely Robot album I recorded at Christmas, and he said, Stephen's looking for a drummer. He's auditioned some guys, and my name has come up. And it wasn't just me who recommended. It wasn't just John. It was Gavin Harrison as well. So Stephen, obviously, they're still very good friends. So Stephen asked Gavin, and he was like, "Yeah, absolutely, he would fit." So we set up an email. We had like a little bit of a conversation over the phone, just to see if he wants to obviously see if I'm going to fit.
Sure.
I'm not a crazy drummer like most drummers are, and I was really humble because I was a fanboy anyway. So even just to get to an audition stage, I was like, this is fantastic. To be on his radar, was incredible. And under No Illusions, who he's worked with Marco and Chad, he's got his pick of whoever he wants. So we went to Fanny had an audition. I was super nervous. And really, really nervous. And he asked me to learn 2 songs, which I did. Got to the audition. We played through them both. We stopped, went for lunch, and that was that. But it wasn't really like you're in. He said, like, what's your availability? I said, well, I'm pretty busy. I've got things. He says, well, I'd love to have you there. And it's like, wow. Incredible, and it's really interesting how it's grown in the space of time I've been with him now. Musically, I feel like I've got better, which is a great thing. Playing with these guys, you can't help but not get better. But working with Stephen, getting close with Stephen and understanding what he wants, with the people he's worked with over the years is tremendously inspiring. So, and here I am, really. And originally I was supposed to finish after this tour in the States, but now I'm doing the rest of the year, which is incredible. So, it's great. So,
yeah, well, certainly the reviews are very, very favorable.
Thank you. I mean, it's the internet, so you're never always going to please everybody, you know.
Exactly.
And I think we spoke about this before. I, when it got announced, when Stephen announced it, you know, obviously people are going to want Gavin. They're going to, you know, you can't fill Marco's job. Marco's Marco. I'm a fan as well as a friend of Marco. He's incredible. He's incredible. I'm not here to replace anyone like that. You know, and he asked me to do my own thing. You know, yes, I'm keeping the integrity of the music, like obviously it's Marco's parts. But in the same respect, he wanted me to be me as well. And gradually, the more I'm doing it, the more comfortable I'm getting, and the fans I'm winning over a few fans, which is great. 'Cause it's a big thing to me, and people you probably see online. I really felt the pressure early on because, you know, a lot of the guys, and there was some nastiness stuff said. You know, people are passionate, and that's cool. And people picking holes in my videos because of what I wore or something like that. It's like, well, come on, just give me a chance. Let me play. Let you know, I'm not the big celebrity drummer that they all wanted, but you know, I'm here, and this is how it is, and you know, all I can do is be me. And,
Exactly.
And I'm happy with that. I understand you're not going to please everybody, but most of the guys seem really, really happy now. So I'm not getting tomatoes and stuff thrown at me after a gig, which is great. So people have been really, really nice, and they've been very respectful.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm happy to hear that. So Craig, can you tell us who were some of your influences?
Oh wow, that's great. Well, I mean, drum influences. I'm quite a weirdo. I don't listen to that many drummers anymore. It's mainly bands now. Kind of growing up, a little bit younger than Stephen, so I was kind of like growing up 80s again. Drummers influences for me going back in the day were people like Buddy Rich. I was a real big band, so great drummer, world class. And then moving forward into the more progressive genre, obviously on my paper round as a kid, on my little Walkman, I used to listen to Iron Maiden, so I was a big Nico McBrain fan. Rush all day long, so I was a big Neil Peart fan. They were my two main guys growing up as a player. And then I got a little bit older, and I had this crazy metal phase. It's like here, one of my favourite DVDs was Slayer, Live at the Warfield. I'm a big Dave Lombardo fan. Danny Carey, Marco, Thomas Lang, so many drummers now that are doing it that personally that I really, really like, and the way they conduct themselves. Like going back home, a friend of mine, Steve White, who played with Paul Weller for so many years. I have so many influences, and their friends as well, which is really, really cool. You can't not go without saying Gavin, Benny Greb, and people like that. You know, I try not to get too bogged down with drummers, because I think if you're watching them drummer after drummer, you end up like a cover of that drummer, you know, and I don't want to be that. You know,
You want to have your own voice.
Yeah. I mean, it's always interesting watching. For me, with Marco, I mean, filling his shoes was never an easy job. But I've watched Marco for nigh on 20 years, and you know, he was one of the main reasons I had my setup like that. Him and Bill Bruford and Billy Cobham. But they're huge inspirations of mine. And I'm thankful to say friends as well, which is great.
That's great. Yeah, it's not very often where you have your influences as your friends also.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a big deal for me.
All right. So how does playing in this band differ from your previous projects? I know you played with Stu Ham and Jennifer Batten.
The Jennifer Batten thing, Stu Ham. Well, that was a day's notice. That was covering Chad Wackerman. You know, so I got the call on Sunday. I got the call Sunday evening. Monday it was possible, and then Monday afternoon I found out. They sent the music, and the first gig was Tuesday. So that was a little bit seat at the pants, playing all these weather report numbers, which was really enjoyable. And once again, being the fanboy, Jennifer's amazing. And Stu Ham, you know, what a bass player, you know, what a guy to play with. So, with this gig, we only had 2 days rehearsals together. So we didn't have like a week in a film studio or anything like that. I had the music a little bit longer, but playing in a unit, I didn't have that kind of luxury where we'd have loads and loads of time, because they just finished the European leg with Marco. I was on tour with Jennifer Batten. And then it was literally right. And then the following weekend, we're in the rehearsals. So it was fairly intense. And what I'm finding with this band, but I mean, everybody I work with, I love working with. You know, there's going to be some bad experiences and like little trips along the way in careers, isn't there? But with this band, it's their level of professionalism and search for perfection is incredible, and it's really inspiring. The crew and everyone we're travelling with are really, everyone just seems like a big team. You know, you're gonna be in close proximity for 2 months on a bus. You know, you got 14, 15 guys on there. You're gonna get a little bit, but nothing. Everyone is so focused. They are tremendously great at what they do, and it's testament to Steve. Really, he surrounds himself with people that are fairly low maintenance and can just crack on and do the job and do it to the best. So I'm kind of still a little bit overwhelmed by it, you know. And I have to say the fan base, I found that quite scary because, as I said before, I am quite a shy guy and I'm not one for like, look at me, you know, I've got my thing in the clinics and that's great, but in a band environment, especially being the new guy as well, we took to the stage in South America and it was just overwhelming, just looking up and seeing the passion in these people's faces and crying during the songs and singing the songs that I've been at home learning and charting, which at the moment, at that time didn't really have a meaning, but to these guys who have followed Stephen for so many years, it was such a big thing for them, and it was very, very humbling, but also, like I say, really, really inspiring. So, yeah, the fan base, I don't think I'll ever get used to that, really. I'm kind of sit at the back sort of guy, really, unless I'm doing the drum clinic stuff, but it's different. Yeah. It's really, really different, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's great to be involved in a world-class band and organization.
Absolutely,
as well.
It
makes a world of difference.
It's fantastic. It really is fantastic, and not something I've been tremendously used to. I've had snippets of it with other bands that I work with who are fantastic, but this level of fan base around the world is incredible. And my Facebook went into meltdown, and it continues to do so with all these guys coming out the world, and they're all being really lovely. It's quite difficult to see sometimes, you know. But my mum's proud. She's really proud. She's like, "I've been watching your Facebook." It's cool.
That's good. So I know you have another leg of the tour coming up, but what are your future plans after this tour?
After this tour is we get home, I think on 3rd or 4th of July, I think it's home. And then the following weekend we're doing a huge festival in Belgium or Holland called Boss Pop. And Dream Theatre on before us, which would be quite interesting. So that'd be quite scary. We got that, and then we got one the week after, and then a little bit of downtime. I'm back to teaching. I'm tremendously passionate about a teacher. I've got a teaching studio at home, so I'll be teaching my main guys again, because I haven't seen them for like 3 months. So I'll be teaching the guys, and then I've got a thing called the Freddie G Drum Academy, which is a weeks-long residential course in England with a couple of teachers that we teach, and there's like 60, 70 guys come from all over the country and study with us. And then I think I'm going to China for 5 days, doing a teaching seminar, clinic seminar out there. I've got a little bit more recording to do, a few more jingles, a couple of television programs, and then we're in production rehearsals again for, it'll be September before you know it. And then we've got a big run of shows in September, finishing at Royal Albert Hall, 2 nights there, which I'm now doing, which is fantastic. So beyond there, who knows? Who knows? But it's nice to have a little bit in front, which is, as any freelance guy, it's nice to be busy, you know. So yeah, I was expecting just to get back and do a lot of teaching, and I do a lot of recording as well. So I wasn't expecting to be doing this long. So it's it's an unexpected surprise.
Yeah, but it's great, you know, being able to stay busy and
absolutely
call your own shots. So that's good too. All right. So Craig, what would you like to say to your World Prog-Nation fans reading this interview?
Oh wow, yeah. Please excuse my lots of stuttering. I guess. You know, I love playing progressive music. I've always been a prog fan since a kid, and I've always dreamed of playing with some of the best. You know, and I find myself, for whatever reason, I find myself in this genre now at a high level, and I have to say the fans have been fantastic. You know, the people who via World Prog-Nation as well. And I know you've been saying some wonderful things, and people come over and they say great things on Facebook. Support to me is everything, and you know, I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have the support of people that kind of trust and believe in what I do. You know, so hopefully, you know, I'm making some people happy. I'm surprising some people as well. But yeah, it's nice to have people's, you know, blessings and wishing on it before a gig, after a gig, during a gig. It, you know, means a lot, because prog fans, and don't hate me for saying this, prog fans can be really, really geeky and nerdy, and they want to know everything, and they love their bands that they love, and they're so passionate, and I kind of love it. I'm a Rush fan, so I know how this thing goes. Deeply passionate, and I hope I'm making people smile with what I do, and I hope. If they're a musician, I'm inspiring them to play music and to get better at their instrument, because that's all I'm doing. I'm just a normal guy that takes my job really seriously. I practice hard, just like the guys that are on World Prog-Nation as musicians as well. So hopefully, if I can inspire a couple of guys, that's all good with me.
Well, I'm sure you're inspiring more than a couple of guys.
Thank you very much.
Craig, thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
An absolute pleasure. An absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed the gig.
Oh, I certainly will.
Fantastic.